Now listen up, maggots.
It happened 6 months ago. The unthinkable happened. The fighting escalated. Nuclear strikes trading back and forth. I am one of the few survivors. I've now made contact with another safe house. I'm on my way. I've got to avoid those mutants. Let's go.
Resurgence. It's a one to four player, bag building, worker placement Euro game themed around motherland Russia after a post-apocalyptic nuclear strikes. Now in this game, you're a survivor. You're going to be running around, doing missions, finding other survivors, collecting a whole bunch of resources, while all avoiding these pesky mutants. Arrgh. So well done you, buddy. First stage complete, you survived the nuclear strike. After that, let's have a look at the game of Resurgence. You're going to have the main game board here, and the main player board here is Moscow, broken up into 6 different districts, all with 2 worker placement spots per district. The other main factor you're going to have is the player board. Player board is going to be your compound. Compound's going to grow throughout the course of the game, giving you even more worker placement spots. Look, so I get it. You're like, mate, great intro, but why am I spending my hard-earned Russian rubles on another standard euro? So, great question, well asked. Well, this Soviet soiree has got the pedigree of a top shelf vodka. Now, what if I mentioned to you the name The Don? Does that ring a bell at all? What about Stan Kordonsky? Does that ring a bell? Okay. What about Stanislav Kordonsky? And look, now we are cooking with gas. Dice Hospital, Rurik, Dawn of Kiev, Endless Winter. Absolute crackers of games, all brought to you by The Don. Now, the Don has got together with his Russian comrades Igor and Oleg, and look, they've brought us an absolute masterpiece in the brutality and the desperation of a war-ravaged city. Now, these actions are simple. Pull out the survivor tokens out of a bag and allocate them to 3 different sectors behind a screen. They're going to be Metro, Waterfront, or your compound. From there, if you have the majority in any of those sectors, go up that particular leadership track. From there, going around the table, each person will choose one of their survivor tokens. They're going to place it out in a worker placement spot of that particular sector. Then you're going to take that action, and then lastly, you will complete some missions if you can. That is a round of Resurgence. Day 1 in the compound, and things are going well. The mutants are still walking past, but they haven't seen us in here. We're staying quiet. Now listen up, maggots. This is going to be a lesson in Euro 101 tactics on how to survive an apocalypse, so listen carefully. Now lesson 1, and that's hierarchy. Look, labourers, they're down the bottom, they're the peasants. After that, we have the scholars, the rangers, and the builders. Look, they're still peasants, but they're a bit higher up the food chain. But the top dogs, they're the heroes. Use them wisely. Lesson 2, and it's resources. Look, I hope you're listening up, Balake. Now, resources are going to be scarce in Resurgence. So you're going to go out there, worker placement spots, and gain more resources. Without resources, you can't do missions. Lesson number 3, and don't be a Larry loner. Look, you can't survive by yourself in this harsh world, so go out there and find some comrades. Now, you rescue some survivors, they will be in your debt for the rest of the game. And lesson number 4, look, Russia has no building standards, so go out there, clear out that rubble and make a bigger compound for you. The bigger the compound, the better worker placement spots, plus if you go up the compound levels, you're going to get access to better missions. So there you go, you filthy scum. Better missions equal more points equals victory. Victory to the motherland. And at its heart, the core of the game is these missions. These missions are nice and simple. You're going to go to a certain worker placement spot, trade in the resources that the card asks you to trade in, and then you're going to collect those beautiful points. Then you're going to drink lots of vodka, then after 6 rounds, you'll finally have the winner of Resurgence. So I'm sitting here editing, thinking to myself, is this game just all rainbows and unicorns, really? Yeah, nah, look, still some improvements to be made to the game. Firstly, rulebook, pretty blah. Let's just get rid of that over there. Secondly, how about some two-player scaling? That would be handy. Thirdly, the mutants. I think of this in the competitive game as it should have been the centerpiece. It should have been the main course of this game's design. But alas, it's probably more the equivalent of the free glass of water you get at the restaurant. Yeah, it's part of the meal, but it's a glass of water. Who cares? And that's how I feel like with these mutants. They're just there, part of the game, but don't really add to any tension. I just wonder if there's any tweaks we could have made to really make this more of a centerpiece in this design. Anyway, that's it from me. Let's get back to the rainbows and unicorns again. Now, how do I rate Resurgence? Well, firstly, I'm biased. I love me a good old-fashioned Euro, and that's what we have here. Simple core mechanics that bring together in a solid design, and that's what I'll call it. This is a very solid design. Now, how do I rate this amongst the Don's other games? Well, Rurik, Dawn of Kiev, all the way up there. Then Resurgence number 2. I really did enjoy this. Now the theme. I could take it or leave it. Post-apocalyptic mutants running around Russia? Sure. But what I did find interesting was the artwork. I've never seen an art style like this in a game, and I found it absolutely fascinating. Now, for some people, maybe they're not going to like it, and that's totally fine. But I reckon at least they tried something different, and I really appreciate the direction they did with the art style. And lastly, let's touch on the solo. And these mutants are finally getting a run in this game. And what's going to happen is we're taking them head on in an automa system where they're going to be battling us on the leadership track. They're going to be battling us for the worker placement spots. And they'll be even battling us for the mission cards. It's a great, solid design. And I love the fact they put some love and care into this solo. And we have Resurgence. I backed this on Kickstarter a long time ago, and I'm glad I finally got a chance to review this game. Look, I really do enjoy this design. The fact I realised I have 3 of his games in my collection, I'm like, you know what? Let's make it a 4th one. Look, I really enjoy what he's doing, and this one is no different. So there we go, Resurgence. Let me know in the comments below if this is a game that actually interests you. Interesting theme, interesting art style, look, interesting game. Anyway, leave a comment. Subscribe to my channel if you really enjoy the work and effort I put into all these videos. Look, I'd really appreciate a cheeky little sub. Help me get to those 1,000 subscriber mark. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm Hoges. This is Board Game Bangers. This is Resurgence. Till next time, laters.